agriculture is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. In the greater scheme of things, plastic might not seem like a big issue, but it's impossible to avoid on farms. Things like meal and fertiliser have to be kept in waterproof bags. Silage needs to be plastic wrapped, and it can't be compostable as it might be stored for years. But can this whiffy waste be turned into something else? Something farmers might find useful? Last year, Irish farmers recycled enough plastic to cover 20 million bales of silage, just like these.
I'm 34, as long as I can remember. Me and my dad, we've always been bringing the plastic out to the recycling centres.
How much plastic then are you going through? How much would you use a year?
I'd say approximately a ton and a half, or 2 ton of plastic, which is a lot. You know, when you just consider I'm just one farmer here, whereas if you go around our area and then Cork and then the whole of Ireland, like if you multiply that up, that's a lot of tons of plastic.
This morning, James and his full trailer of plastic are making the annual trip to a collection in Bailgooley Ga Club, run under licence by the Department of the Environment.
Cheers,
So everyone's coming here today, kind of to the local area to drop off,
Yeah, the address. You'll see it now when we get out there. There'll be a good few tractors there. There'll be big piles, like it'll be coming out all day. Like,
all right,
yeah.
When we arrive at Bailgooley, our trailer is weighed and the plastic offloaded. We're then weighed again to calculate the charge for the load. Every tonne of waste will cost James €100.
Yeah. How much do you think now?
What are you thinking?
I don't know, close to 2 tonne. I'll go maybe 1.8.
I'll go 1.7, so. And we're split.
Let's have a look.
Hello.
How's it going? You could turn this into a sport, couldn't you?
Thanks for that now.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
What are we on?
Lads.
1.6?
1.66 tonnes.
Ah, you were closer than me. Today I've realised just how much plastic is generated on farms. James alone had over 1.5 tonnes, and I've completely lost track of how many farmers have come to have their plastic recycled. And how much of it would you have each year?
Oh, there'd be 3 or 4 tonne in it. There's a big sustainability push now in farming, and this is all part of being sustainable and reduce, reuse, recycle as much as we can.
How much have you brought in today?
I suppose about a ton of it, like.
Really? And
Yeah.
how long would it have taken you to collect that?
Oh, it's 12 months, like, you
Before it was being recycled, then what would have happened to it?
I suppose people burden it and go, like,
I think if we're going to survive in farming, that we all have to be very sustainable, looking after the environment, looking after water quality, looking after our soils and our crops and our animals.
This is just one of 200 collection days that happen every year. The mind boggles at how much plastic must be being generated on Irish farms.
The volumes are huge. We're collecting 40,000 tonnes of farm plastic waste every year for recycling. So that's plastic from the equivalent to 20 million silage bales. We're achieving a 95% recycling rate. The Irish Farm Fill and Producers Group was one of the first recycling compliance schemes set up in Ireland. And the way we work is that the producers who put the products on the market, they pay a fee into us, and we use that money then to provide a comprehensive recycling service to farmers nationwide. We collect the plastic and we send it on for recycling. There are many schemes of this sort in other European countries, but this scheme is the best performing scheme when it comes to recycling silage, wrap and pit cover. So Irish farmers are doing an absolutely excellent job.
And how much of that are we managing to recycle in Ireland versus having to export?
At the moment, we're recycling around 1/3 of what we collect in Ireland, and the rest goes to plants in Europe.
Do we have enough recyclers in Ireland?
At the moment, we have 3 such businesses, and we meet their intake requirements in full, and those businesses all have very ambitious expansion plans. So I think when those expansion plans are fully implemented, we should have enough capacity to deal with all the material that's collected in Ireland, which is our overall goal.
One of those businesses is IFF Plastics in rural County Clare.
At this small family business in Cree, the last 5 years, they've gone from recycling 50 tonnes a year to 500 tonnes a year, making fence posts, many of which end back up on the farm.
To make the fence poles, the plastic is shredded, washed and dried. It's then put through an extruder where it's melted and shaped into moulds, producing a post every 6 minutes. The company's recycling zeal doesn't stop there.
All our machinery is repurposed, so we don't buy new machinery. So everything has had a life before, and we've reused it, repurposed it, we've changed it to be able to use it within the recycling facilities. All our water is reused as well, so we don't take any mains water. It just, whatever falls from the sky, we collect it, and it's all pumped back through a water treatment system and reused over and over again. Since 2019, we've made over 100,000 posts, and all of those have been sold in Ireland or Northern Ireland. For every tonne of plastic we recycle, 1.5 tonnes of carbon is saved. But I found it hard to get carbon studies done in that there isn't too many companies in Ireland that are saving carbon. So we have approached MTU in Cork, and they are going to look at our overall carbon and see how that can be saved. At the minute, that carbon is not being captured anywhere.
And what's the reaction been from the farmers you're selling them to?
The farmers are brilliant. I've found them unbelievably supportive to us. They bring us their waste, but they also buy the product from us afterwards as well. With the cost of living and everything is going up, you can buy timber post for €2, or you could buy a more expensive post for maybe 15 or 20 euros. But the farmers see the benefit of the plastic posts. They use the plastic posts, and it's a long-term solution, and it's clean material, so which means then that we can take it back, recycle it again.
So you can recycle it over and over
Yes,
again?
over and over again.
Ireland has come a long way from plastic waste on farms ending up in the ditch or being burned. What we have now is 95% of farmers adopting the recycling scheme, and small family businesses scaling their operations to recycle huge volumes of plastic. What it shows is that we combine ambitious policy with clever entrepreneurial skill, we can have enormous impact.